DMT has also been found in mammals like rats and rabbits. In the 1960s, a German researcher team even found traces of the substance in human blood. Shortly after, US Nobel Prize-winning scientist Julius Axelrod provided evidence that DMT occurs naturally in the human brain. It's even considered endogenous, meaning our own bodies produce it naturally.
There's a saying that says DMT is everywhere, and it is also found in the human body and in a lot of mammals' bodies as well.
Throughout the 1960s, scientists keep isolating DMT in humans, animals, and plants. And meanwhile, psychedelics are starting to seep into popular culture.
How often have you taken LSD?
The Beatles?
4 times.
The swinging 60s are the peak years of the hippie movement and psychedelics like LSD. The cultural revolution is fueled by activists, intellectuals, and artists alike. One of them is Terence McKenna. He is just studying at Berkeley. He's 18 years old and has already done his fair share of experiments with psychedelics like LSD.
Terence McKenna. Why do I know the name Terence McKenna? I'm going to take a wild guess. Who was the father of penis envy? I think that was Terence McKenna. He's the Beatles. Who invented penis envy mushrooms? Terence McKenna. Wow, I know my history on herbal psychopharmacology. That's kind of sad.
But what he's
I'm going to say it's cool.
about to experience tonight will eclipse everything he has ever felt. A friend has come to visit and brought this white crystalline powder. He claims it was stolen from a US Army chemical research facility. It's DMT. And for the first time in his life,
It means you learned? Yo, actually. Like, that's proof, bro. If you have an interest in the class, you'll remember the info.
young Terence McKenna is about to smoke it.
I had this hallucination of tumbling forward into these fractal geometric shapes made of light, and then I found myself in the equivalent of the Pope's private chapel. And there were insect elf machines proffering strange little tablets with strange writing on them. These self-transforming machine elf creatures were speaking in a colored language which condensed into rotating machines that were like Fabergé eggs. All this stuff was so weird and so...
Like, I know it's hallucinations, but I always wonder what makes those appear. Like, why is he seeing that? That's why there's people that actually believe there's, like, another dimension that you could see on DMT. Because it's like, where is your brain coming up with this random shit?
alien and so un-Englishable that it was a complete shock. I mean, the literal turning inside out of my intellectual universe. It's like being struck by noetic lightning.
The experience completely changes McKenna's view of life and reality. He becomes convinced that there is another secret world, one we normally can't see or access. He drops out of university to chase this mystery. He travels to Nepal to meet Tibetan shamans. He works as a professional butterfly collector in Indonesia, and he ventures deep into the Colombian jungle.
Sick-ass job. What? Professional butterfly collector? Fire. That is a sick career. You just walk around and you collect butterflies.
Ventures deep into the Colombian jungle with his brother and 3 friends. McKenna's description of the so-called machine elves becomes a cultural reference. Countless DMT users later report encountering mystical entities that closely match what he described.
There's a lot of people that say they, I've seen like a few stories where it's like 2 friends both take DMT and they both meet the same person in their trip without ever talking to each other about it.
He dies in 2000, leaving behind an extensive audio archive with over 500 hours of theories on psychedelics and spirituality.
A drug like synthetic ayahuasca, pharmawaska, do people realize this is the same thing as has been taken for thousands of years down there? Do they realize its role in shamanic healing?
By the late 1960s, authorities began cracking down on the widespread drug use in the US.
Well, I mean, if I was to say where I got it from, it's illegal and everything. It's silly to say that.
In 1966, California and Nevada become the first states to outlaw the production, sale, and possession of LSD. 2 years later, the drug is banned across the entire country.
I just think the whole U.S. federal drug classification is so stupid because there's so many drugs that are much more illegal than others, and the harm of that drug is not even equivalent. Let me look up U.S. drug classifications. Drug scheduling. There's 1 through 5. Schedule 1 is drugs with no current medical use with high potential for abuse and addiction. And then 5 is low potential for abuse, right? So like 5 is not that bad. 1 is really bad. Schedule 1 drugs include marijuana. Ah! I was ready. Did you see that shit, chat? You got me a present? A Michael Scott Funko Pop. No fucking way. We gotta add it to the collection. People are gonna get real upset that I open this. And it'll be worth something one day. Don't care. Why is he in a straight... Oh, it's when he did the... I was gonna say, why is he in a straight jacket? That's sick. Put him there. Girlfriend. Anyways, chat, as I was saying, Schedule 1 drugs. No current medical use, high potential for abuse. Right now, I think they're trying to reclassify marijuana. They might have already, but I think this is still a constantly updating article. So, Schedule 1 drugs, high potential for abuse, no medical use. Federally, marijuana, ecstasy, quaaludes, bath salts, LSD, and heroin. The only 2 on that list that I think should be scheduled... Hold up. Fucking hate those bugs. The other day, I was talking about how those are my least favorite bugs. And they fucking pinch you. Dude, where the fuck did that dude even come from? He was just crawling. He was crawling on my desk. Anyways. Oh my God. I keep getting interrupted. The only 2 on that list that I understand being Schedule 1 are, well, quaaludes you can't even really get anymore in the U.S., but heroin and bath salts. Schedule 2, methadone, Demerol, Vicodin, OxyContin, fentanyl. Fentanyl is a lower federal drug classification than marijuana, codeine, and morphine. Schedule 3 is ketamine, anabolic steroids, and Suboxone. Schedule 4 is Xanax, Soma, Klonopin, Valium, and Ativan. And then Schedule 5 is Robitussin and Ezogabin. It's just weird, bro. Like, why are we not updating that?
Country.
America's public enemy number 1 is drug abuse.
America's war on drugs soon extends to much of the rest of the world. In 1971, the United Nations...
Yeah, and we have the worst fucking way of trying to get people off drugs. Instead of actually providing people methods of, rehabilitation and trying to get that... Like, here's the problem. You can kill as many cartel members and as many cartel leaders and as many, drug gang distributor leaders as you can. They'll be replaced. If there's a market, or if there's a consumer, there's going to be a supplier. Okay? To get rid of people taking drugs in the United States, you have to stop the level of consumers that there are. If less people want to take the drugs, less people will try to offer it to them. If there's not a market, there's not going to be a marketer. If you kill the head of a cartel and you go, we've just solved the cocaine problem. No, the fuck you haven't, because people still want to do coke in the United States. People still want to take fentanyl in the United States. There's going to be another guy that's going to fucking supply it.
Nations adopts the Convention on Psychotropic Substances. Many countries outlaw psychedelic substances and sharply restrict their use, including DMT. From that point on, only a handful of approved scientific institutions are allowed to continue their research on them, and even they have to adhere to extremely strict regulations. For decades, DMT research effectively grinds to a halt.
The whole class of compounds got pulled off the clinical bench, and no research has gone on for 40 years.
One of the tragedies to me is that the clinical research on these substances pretty much stopped around 1970.
Dr. Rick Strassman is a psychiatrist. He's set on bringing psychedelic research back to life. His study is the first attempt to observe the effects of psychedelic substances in humans in the US in over 20 years. He wants to know what DMT does to our mind and body. The participants are numbered. Sarah is subject 34. She's in her early 40s and lives with her second husband. She has 3 children and works as a freelance writer.
You think they know what they're getting themselves into when they sign up for this shit?
She has told the researchers that an angel once visited her when she had a high fever as a child, and that every now and then she communicates with spirit guides for advice and support. She also suffers from depression. In her 20s, she overdosed on tranquilizers and was hospitalized for 2 weeks following the suicide attempt. Today, she wants to find out whether DMT can help her gain a deeper understanding of herself and her relationship to the universe. The experiment is set to begin in just a few seconds. The onset of DMT's effects largely depend on how you consume it. Most recreational users smoke DMT using a glass pipe. This makes the effects kick in extremely fast, usually in under 1 minute. The peak experience tends to last only a couple of minutes before wearing off. The smoke tastes unpleasant and can trigger coughing fits. Another substance closely related to N and DMT is called 5-MeO-DMT.
Yup. That's what I was talking about, bro. They set people off that frog venom.
This YouTuber smoked it for one of his videos. Others try to consume it like this. 5-MeO-DMT occurs naturally in secretions of the Colorado River toad. A common misconception is that licking the toad will get you high. It won't, and it can be extremely toxic. Most research today focuses on synthetic 5-MeO-DMT. It also kicks in very fast and strong, but tends to produce far fewer visual hallucinations than N and DMT. DMT can also be snorted. In that case, the effects take a few minutes to kick in, but the trip also lasts a bit longer. Ayahuasca usually contains the highest dose of DMT. The effects begin after around 45 minutes and can last several hours. But the brew is tough on the stomach. Many people have to throw up during the trip. Two things are paramount for a pleasant DMT experience. Set.
I don't think throwing up is set. It's gonna be set and setting is what he's gonna say. Set and setting. Yeah, have this ayahuasca. Okay, maybe I wouldn't take ayahuasca if I'm guaranteed gonna vomit. I feel like that would make the experience so much worse. It's called purging. Honestly, maybe it would feel better because you'd feel gross and then you'd throw up and you'd probably feel so much better.
And setting. The right
your trip would probably get better.
Mix of emotional stability and soothing surroundings. Experts recommend a calm environment where users feel safe and are able to lie down comfortably